the border town where people keep disappearing. The first thing you notice about Santa Loma is the waiting. Cars idle at the border crossing even when there's no line. Shopkeepers stand in doorways long after sunset. Families leave porch lights on for people who are not coming home. In Santa Loma, waiting has become a civic duty. The town sits between two countries, stitched together by a dry riverbed and a chain-link fence patched with old license plates. On one side, the language changes. On the other, the uniforms do. But the dust is the same, and so is the silence. When the disappearances began, no one called them that. At first, it was travel, then work. Then he went north, or she crossed south. The words were chosen carefully, like stepping stones over something dangerous. If you said missing, you invited questions. If you said disappeared, you invited consequences. By the third year, the town stopped counting. The documentary crew arrives in the heat of August when the air hums and the flies won't leave you alone. They filmed the border at dawn, the fence throwing long shadows like prison bars. A narrator's voice will later say, "This is a town of 18,000 people, but no one here believes that number anymore." The camera finds Martha Ruiz in her kitchen, rolling dough she no longer bakes. Her son Daniel vanished 6 years ago. He was 19. He left for a night shift at a warehouse across the border and never arrived. His phone last pinged near the river. The police report is 3 pages long and mostly blank. Marta doesn't cry on camera. She has already used up that part of herself. "They told me to wait," she says, "so I waited. Then they told me to stop asking." The film cuts to the police station. The walls are freshly painted. The chief speaks smoothly about cooperation, jurisdictional complexity, unfortunate misunderstandings. He says crime statistics are improving. He does not say how many officers own houses far nicer than their salary should allow. Everyone in Santa Loma knows which streets to avoid, which names not to say, which questions end conversations. Fear here is not loud. It is practical. At the market, vendors glance at the camera before answering. Yes, people are leaving, they say, economic reasons, family reasons. When pressed, one woman shrugs and says, "This is a border town. Things happen." Behind the church, there is a wall of flyers, sun-bleached faces, phone numbers peeling away. Some photos are so faded they look like ghosts already. The church stopped updating the wall after someone spray-painted "Stop" across it in red. The film crew interviews an old man who runs the ferry across the dry river, though there has been no water in years. He used to take people back and forth before the fence went up, before the disappearances. "People think silence means nothing happened," he says. "Silence is what happened." The documentary never shows violence. There are no bodies, no dramatic reenactments, only absences, an empty classroom desk, a locked factory gate, a birthday cake never cut. The slow horror is not what occurred, but what was allowed. Halfway through filming, the crew's local fixer stops showing up. His phone goes straight to voicemail. A producer suggests they pause. Another suggests they already have enough footage. No one says the word disappeared, but it hangs in the air like smoke. They finish the documentary quickly after that. When it airs months later, viewers call it haunting, subtle. Restraint is praised. Officials issue statements of concern. An investigation is promised by both governments, carefully coordinated, indefinitely delayed. In Santa Loma, people gather around televisions in bars and living rooms. They watch themselves speak in fragments. They see their fear edited into something almost understandable. For a few weeks, the porch lights burn brighter. Then the news cycle moves on. The fence remains, the river stays dry, and in Santa Loma, waiting continues, quietly, obediently, because everyone has learned the most dangerous thing you can do in a border town is to insist on being heard.